His first bucket. Starting five for Washington State, almost a brand new team this year for the Cougars, and they went 8-10 in league play after a good start. Really didn't finish the season well at all. You would not have known it with the way that they played. Scores off the glass.
Just so strong, right? I mean, he knows he misses it. He knows where he misses it. He tracks it down and just finishes.
Leading scorer in the conference this year. Lawan Watts going downhill. Bucket on this.
Foul against Washington State.
And they reverse that. Foul was against Malik Thomas. Ethan Price. Little hesitation move, got all the way to the rim. Beasley trying to go baseline. Contested jumper, no good. Calmese kicks it out. Finds Okafor, layup good. A whole lot for Washington State. Got right in Beasley's face and kind of shoved him as he was finishing that free throw. Beasley pushed back. I think the officials are a little concerned. This game has gotten more emotional.
They felt like there was too much talking going to the last timeout, so something we will be watching.
Lingard managed to catch it. Thomas passed up the three. Calmese stole it away from him.
Great hands.
Calmese slows up. Price, transition three. Good! Against O'Donnell, he goes right by him and then missed it. Long loose ball. Calmese hustles after it. Here's Price for three. Good! All the way with the left hand. Then he went flying underneath the basket, and he's still getting up and trailing the play. The three on this end. Point at the top with no Marcus Williams. No matter what, he has to be aggressive, and he has been. But 5 turnovers, 5 of 14 shooting, and some of those errors on the defensive end. Lawan Watts foot right on the three-point line, so that's a 2. He's not shy, Barry Wall. Sophomore from the NBA Global Academy, grew up in China. He's starting to come into his own. Calmese. Time winding down on the Cougars. Lawan Watts.
To maybe try to get you to take some time off the shot clock. LMU feels that they can speed up the Cougars a couple times now. He's 50th and 51st threes of the season. Eric Strip, also a 6'11" big for Washington State, has yet to attempt one tonight. He's made over 60 on the year.
Calmese, good dish. Lawan Watts finishes. LMU's offense is just a mess in the first 8 minutes. That was a bad pass. Rasterson saves it in bounds. Calmese, good creator in the early going. That was a nice pass to the three-point shooter.
It's your turn.
Amy, I thought he was there at the rim and he didn't shoot it. Johnston, he's just totally out of sorts. He was so decisive last night. Calmese back to Lawan Watts. Three is good. B-Day the inbounder. Amy, catch and shoot three. Too strong.
Well, LMU's got a lineup on the floor that they're going to need to rely on Amy and Porter to score. B-Day, McBride, and Lewis don't give you much in that end.
But made a good decision there. Now a pass tipped, and Washington State comes away with it. The outlet to Isaiah Watts, who dunks it home. Too strong. Nice touch rebound. Calmese, no good. Favors, though, working hard on the glass. That's his second straight offensive board. Now Favors will try the three. He earned that one. He did.
Washington State can be careless. They average 15 turnovers a game.
And the Cougars come in. It's a high-scoring team at 78 a game. They go inside and load him quickly down the floor. Odom will stop and shoot a three. It hits the back of the rim. Tipped by Fourier. That misses. And Eric Strip gets the rebound. And the fast break, Calmese swinging left side to Garrett. Three-pointer, good. March 6th through March 11th. This is Odom down the lane. Throwing up. Shot rejected by Price. And ball taken by Calmese. Calmese in the front guard. Right side, Favors. Three-pointer is good. 11:22 to play. 63-53. Koulibaly down low. Pivots underneath. Ball knocked away. Stolen by the Cougars. Rasterson to Calmese. The lob to Lawan Watts with a dunk.
We're hoping that Washington State possibly misses some outside shots. The problem for the Toreros, too, has been rebounding the ball. So you get these misses, you've got to find a way to get them down.
And that's a cool thing at a school like Eastern where that can happen. And here come the Cougs running and scoring, I say. A little prize they're playing for. Washington State playing this game tonight off to this excellent start, and then they finish Saturday at Pepperdine. Meanwhile, LMU, Loyola Marymount, plays its final game of the regular season tonight at home against first place St. Mary's. If the Cougs win both and LMU loses tonight, then the Cougs would win a tiebreak. They would jump up and have to skip a night.
Oh, yeah, so
which is a big thing. They'd only have to win four to finish.
Had a pretty good look.
And back comes USD. No, and a good hustle back. Now, there's a great lesson, Dan. Ethan Price hustling back to get that rebound. And then Lawan Watts makes.
So far early is struggling. How about this Santa Clara on an 18-0 run? So they need to just slow the pace of the game down. As the Broncos are dropping threes from everywhere. At least 5 different Broncos have knocked down a three-pointer. Calmese. And it's Ethan Price. All right, there you go. So Price is second. And they've made 9 threes. He's got 9 points on the game.
And to your point about Stewart, they had one of the best backcourts in the country with him and Brandon Prazinski as we see a bank three.
Man. He did play in 6 games, but he's out for the year. Had a shoulder injury. As the Cougars come over to steal. Calmese coming back the other way. Up top! Pretty play. One away from a school record. And Sminger with 5. Inside, Price fades away on the baseline.
Lead them in made threes. It's a real inverted offense.
Nemhard got to the rim, missed the shot. And here come the Cougars. Lawan Watts went right by Greg.
Score about 60. Something's got to give. And we're underway in Moraga. Washington State in the dark will control it first. In the first meeting in January, won by St. Mary's. Washington State did score 75, and they get the
bigs. Really good guards in this game, but the bigs on both sides, I think it's going to be interesting to see who really plays well, because the perimeter players right here, like Price, if they can shoot well from 3, can not rattle, they continue to get a great shot later in the shot clock.
Calmese and Marshallonis, 2 great point guards in this league. Andy Okafor reverses off the glass.
Washington State has to be thrilled right now. Just the flow of the game, the feel of the game. They've taken some punches from St. Mary's, and they're right there.
Price. Back-to-back threes are perfect.
Created a foul situation.
Oh, Odom. Nice scoop. Oh, nice scoop attempt, but Todorovic went down over his own man. Extra people here for the Cougars. Let's see if Erickstrom can take advantage. Yes, he does. That was 4 on 2. Lawan Watts ducks in and scores with 11 to go.
That's a shame.
It's Price. And Tony Padilla throws it up, and we're underway. Calmese is 8 for Washington State. He will handle the ball a lot for the Cougs. Price's first 3 on the way. Good. Both games also streaming on the app. Calmese has been the leader offensively for the Cougars. Isaiah Watts, long 3. Good.
Barry Wong does not field the pocket pass from Lingard, and it's taken by Isaiah Watts. Cougars honorary West Coast Conference members this season and next as Watts. Beasley catch and shoot.
Well, both teams not afraid in transition, trying to get some shots before the defense sets up. Love the strategy.
Lawan Watts, Barry.
Yeah, the Tigers shot terrifically in that first matchup, 55% from the floor. A lot of it with the offensive rebound and points in the paint, Zach.
Nate Calmese, the junior, who the Tigers saw a couple of years ago when he played for Lamar. Tigers had a home-and-home series with Lamar. Fisher, yeah, nice job using the glass, as Okafor to the bucket.
Feeling if he wanted to go for 20 every night, he probably could.
And we asked Joe Rahan, the assistant coaches of St. Mary's before the game, how come that's Price.
Jordan Ross
Been relatively quiet in the second half. Saw an opening, took advantage.
Every possession feels so important to Washington State right now. As good as St. Mary's is on the glass and defensively.
But you don't have to be married to the three just yet. You got plenty of time.
Oh, the big
has been their best part about in their success. And if they're getting bench scoring along with their starting unit scoring, I mean, this is going to be a tough team to beat when it comes down in the conference play later on.
Watts, sharp dribble, Calmese, little hesitant, Baber saves it. 6 to shoot. Behind the Price screen, brief switch, 2 to shoot. Babers got it.
Oh my God!
He puts it home.
Great interior play by Ball. Way to stay patient and look for his big fella Tilly.
That's a 16-2 run in 4 minutes.
The thing that's impressed me about Santa Clara is their shot selection. Can't say enough about their shot selection. They're not forcing any shots. They're getting good looks every possession down. Got to give credit to Herb Sendek for that.
7 to shoot, opposite, end-line drive. Great lead for Price. Rattles in. Monty on the glass was pretty impactful in that first half.
It was. I want to see Washington State can get Calmese involved into the offense. And he passed right there to Watts.
Rattles it down.
McKinnon's penetration has caused them some problems, but the bigger issue with their defense has been the offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds usually can lead to open three-point shots.
And right now it's 5-3 on the offensive glass for Portland. Dane Ehrenstrup wants his third three of the half. And
offensive team, and a team that scores a ton of points.
They did say it was enough of a hold by Chris Austin to put the clock at 20, so it goes into Juan Watts. He would have been
staying in, but the last 6 minutes they're letting this slip a little bit away from them. They're down 8 and they're hurting themselves by not boxing out better, and now some careless turnovers.
Portland's committed 6, Washington State with 5. Cougars on this 7-point scoring run. Tomas Thrasherson just got that across to Nate Calmese.
Careless pass.
Lawan Watts showing his strength. Rebound, Aussie Rapp in the putback for Portland.
That's 9. It's only 1 more than the average. But again, double-digit offensive rebounds would be no, that's 10. So that's 10 offensive rebounds for the Pilots.
But as we talked about in the pregame, they've been short possessions against teams. They have 9 fewer shot opportunities than Washington State today.
That's pretty much what they're up against every game.
5 to shoot for Nate Calmese. Trying to
nice
shovel.
Pass.
And Andy Okafor pays it off.
David Riley.
He puts the Cougars right on the cusp of breaking over the 80-point mark. This per-game scoring offense for Washington State of over 80 is one of the best in recent Cougar history, as Indy getting back into action after having
USF
games pushed back.
I certainly should have included USF. They're 5-2, if I'm not mistaken. 15-5 overall.
And Eric Strip slipped off open down low.
There's no such thing as garbage time for Washington State. They've only got 8 players.
Ethan Price.
So they
start to the year he had before the injury.
It's unbelievable. You look over and you see he and Cedric Coward on the bench.
Yep.
Cedric Coward was unanimous first team All Big Sky last year.
Dane Ehrenstrup as in
Price. Here at midcourt, and the opening tip is won by Washington State. And Calmese will control first. The junior from Arizona. With Lamar and Washington out for Price. 3 on the way. Counted. off the glass. That'll go, and San Diego has their first points. It's 13-2.
We talked about San Diego trying to get into a rhythm. It's gotten them a little bit longer than they would like.
Another three. Braden mentioned all of the injuries that keep piling up for San Diego. Most players in the nation missing at least one contest. That would be good.
It's a great feed by Jamerson to find the open man, get the nice velocity on it so no Cougs could reach in the lane.
Extra big.
Battle picks up Gonzaga's first foul. Calmese, the inbound to LaWatts. Watts for the catch. Jump hook over Ben Gregg drops. And the Cougars down by a bucket. And the takeaway. Okafor ties it up at third. 2 turnovers now for the Zags. Ben Gregg, the runner. Watts, the rebound. Back come the Cougars. Pretty obvious that Coach Riley got his team's attention after that game against Pacific, a classic trap game, I think. Cougars probably had their eyes on this one and overlooked the Tigers. Watts, the leaner inside for Washington State. I'd get it to EK. Double team stripped away, taken away by Nate Calmese. And the Cougars now on the move. Handoff. Okafor will give it back to Calmese in a reset. Michael Ajayi, number 1 on the floor for GU, along with Dusty Stromer. And Okafor, a chance for 3. Pin.
EK just doesn't panic. A lot of congestion in that paint. Takes his time, finds a wide open shooter.
Eric Strip over Stromer. Boy, that's what he can do. 13.7 a game, and Isaiah Watts at 13 points a game. I mean, there's 30 points not on the floor for the Cougars. And there's a catch and a finish. Great find, EK. Graham, another big night with 17. 7 of 10 from the floor. Watts.
His battle. You know, you don't want to rein him back at all, but they're trying to force something where there probably wasn't anything to be had at the time.
Watts and EK were still talking at the other end. There's a nice finish and
Tyrone Riley, the 4th, picks up that foul, and an easy looking.
Lewis, the drive to a couple of Cougars and scores off the glass. And I'll finish the point. Thrasterson, of course, stays in the game. Eric Strip lines up the 3 and hits. Haunted by what he saw, but I'm sure relieved now to see him come back.
I thought he stayed pretty poised through the whole thing, and I think that's a sign of a good coach. He doesn't get rattled, which is why you see his team stay so poised on the floor.
Well, he hides it well then, Coach.
We all hide it well.
Eric Strupp from downtown. Florida. Todd Golden.
Another great play by Calmese. This should be an alley-oop dunk.
And there's Watts the catch and finish off the glass.
And get fouled and get to the free throw line.
Vide left a couple of points there.
They're in a 2-3 zone right now. This is not going to go well because you got a great shooting.
Portland in cursive across the chest in purple. Opening tip, won by Wazoo. Calmese, one of the 8 transfers that came to the Cougars this season. Price will start off the...
Mosick in the corner, not able to knock down the 3. Just struggling offensively.
They're on another drought of lead. Mosick throws it, and it's intercepted by Calmese. Pass to Thrasterson. Bumped into Rapp, and he's got his first. Delano with 5 points now for Portland. Watts slicing through that zone defense. Tips it back out to his own team. Thrasterson with it. Gives it up to Calmese. 10 on the shot clock for Washington State. Calmese steps behind the three-point line. Pass is tipped. 4 on the clock. Price will step in front of the three-point line. Knocks down the mid-range jumper. He's got 6. You're talking about more straight out than necessarily up as Rapp gets cut off. And it'll be 1 and done for Portland.
Not necessarily an effort. I mean, they're closing out. They're there. It's just the vision of the shooter is wide open to the rim. If there's a hand in it, high hands, it makes it a little bit more difficult to see.
They swing it around the outside.
That's a better closeout right there by Gebers. High hand.
Lesson learned. Price pulls up from the elbow. Silky smooth.
Washington State before the Isaiah Watts injury. It's a big loss for this game. They're only returning letter winner from a year ago. And the shot from the corner goes down for first half. Campbell, short. Here come the Cougars. Ahead, running the floor. Eric Strupp and the bucket. Hudson inside. Stripped by Eric Strupp and another turnover. Garrett's thought about it. Baseline jumper instead on the money. Approaching the 2-minute mark here. Still an 18-point advantage for the Cougars. Okafor. Calmese has played a complete game. 8 points, 3 assists so far. Finds the open man. Okafor lays it in. His first points, Northern Iowa roster. 13-point game. We're nearing the 13-minute mark. Why not from the corner? Got it. Big shot right there. Boards. Big one right there with 1:20 left. Calmese. Eric Strupp for 3, and he buries it. I don't know if that's the shot.
Out of Iceland. Couldn't put it in. Harris hanging tough. And another defensive effort by Thrasterson, his second block. Upstairs, watch out, ring the bell, Isaiah. Backdoor pass. Davis at the rim, and a little stare down by Isaiah Watts. So the Cougars have had some defense around the 10 early on in the first half. Good feed down low. And it's put in. First points tonight. Oh, with the shot clock dwindling down, Makai Mason knocks down his second triple.
Had a really good game against Eastern Washington, and he's still shooting well. Talk about a line drive.
Is on the doorstep of 1,500 points for his college career.
Man, Washington State brings it right back at you, don't they? No walking it up.
Watts to Watts. Jumper's good from the corner.
He's got it.
Threes now. He has both of them.
Good job by Leon Rice sticking with him. That's a baseline screen there for Meadows. Give him some confidence.
This one, they got to get better at this end. And
Okafor jams it home.
Thanks.
The second one.
He has played well on the other end, though, Stanley.
Yes.
They got big on the ball, trying to use that length.
Washington State now has got to kick the ball up the floor, make passes up the floor, not laterally.
Only a second before they got over the timeline.
Heading toward the 6-minute mark.
I'd go through Watts if I were Washington State. Here's the screen.
R.J. Keith,
nice tuck in
inside.
Okafor switch spots.
Well, they do that.
Look for Calmese rap coming back for a handoff.
Eric Strupp was wide open.
Wow, they can really all the injuries decimated.
Cedric Howard is leading scorer out.
Calmese is so difficult to track.
Eric Strupp for 3. No. Oh, it is good.
He's able to come to Nevada where he's going to play a bigger role, be a lot more comfortable as he takes the 3 there. But Coach Alford's done a great job of building the depth and reloading this Nevada team year after year as they lose guys like Blackshear and Jared Lucas last year.
Penetration from Washington State leads to a
missing all their quick offensive possessions and really missing everything right now as Ducell misses another 3.
Ducell 1 of 6 from the outside. He had entered play 16 of 34, shooting 47% from the outside. But
coming off the pick, nice little one dribble, pull-up jump shot. He's really good at those.
Three-pointer on the other end is good. Gets the paint touch from McBride. Space from Rollison, and his jump shot is off the mark. Into the final minute of play here in the first half. Washington State shooting 31% from the floor. Nevada only 26.5%. Watts for 3, and Watts hits a big triple.
They get an easy look with 2 seconds left. And there it is.
A frustrating
back and then give up a layup in transition.
Nick Davidson for 3. Davidson is 0 of 4 from the outside. He had come into this game shooting 61% from distance. He was 11 of 18. Nice execution on the inside that time.
Ball screen. Just taking the easy mid-range jump shot. Another big defensive possession here for Nevada.
Corner 3 on the way is good.
California transfer. Wound up with 3 blocks, 9 points in 18 minutes off the bench.
Big minutes for the Cougars.
Price pulls and hits. Calmese underneath the free throw line. Missed the flip. Gets it back. Great effort to stay with it. Finds why not. The freshman drills the 3. The glass.
Great pace. Great use of his body. A good job of using an angle to be able to score that one.
Touch pass. Calmese across the lane as Price elevates for the jam. And trying to guide this Washington State program to back-to-back trips to the Big Dance. Let's check in with Unqua.
Hey, Chris, I caught up with Andy Enfield coming out of the tunnel, and he was extremely frustrated. Talk about being plus 13 on the boards. He said they probably missed 14 layups, and it's probably a school record. He really wants some more production out of his post, but he loves what he gets from his guards.
Now, only 8 second chance points, and when you have 14 offensive rebounds, you hope that number balloons up a bit here for SMU. Price from straight away knocks down the 3. It in on the first look, but gets it back and scores. Chindo has provided instant offense from the bench again for SMU. 9 points tonight. The lead has ballooned to 8 for the Mustangs. Calmese up top. Isaiah Watts. They needed it.
They needed that one. You know, as far as attempts and plus 6 on makes.
Washington State basketball out of the timeout, trailing by 5. Calmese kicks. Why not? Touch pass. Eric Strupp. One more. Isaiah Watts shot clock into single digits. Cross picks up Calmese. LaJuan Watts on a corner pop. Drills the 3. His rebounding and his scoring will be missed by this Washington State squad, hoping to improve to 6-1 under their first-year head coach David Riley. Washington State, members of the West Coast Conference, next couple of years before the Pac-12 comes back, and that's what
that play by Collins, 6'1" sophomore, able to drive it, went right to the contact, and got a chance.
And if you've watched any games this season at Beasley Coliseum, their home floor, they've got the Pac-12 and WCC logos on their floor.
Oh, wide open.
Sec on the offensive glass has to follow. The Hawaii transfer who suffered an ACL injury back in January and still playing throughout the rehab process. Eric Struck. It bounces in. Washington. Aguilar hits on the southpaw flip. Washington State sprints up the floor and Watts lays it in.
Pressure, and he may be playing with full court pressure after me.
Fresno State quickly gives it back after the Watts miss, and an alley-oop to Price.
And again, Eastern Washington with a switching defenses there as we see Powell launch the transition three.
Not able to connect. Eric struck the rebound. Here come the Cougs. Calmese trying to push the pace. Behind the back, kicks it out. Coward lines up an open triple and got it. Of athleticism by Okafor, even if it does go in as a goaltend. Under 6 minutes to go. Washington State just seeming to answer every time Eastern Washington comes up with a basket or a stop. They respond with a basket or a stop. Okafor, that time he'll slam it home.
I just love the spacing that both teams run their offense with.
And you're going to see a lot of ball movement in between these two offenses as Isaiah Watts comes in for the first time tonight for Washington State. Under 10 on the timer. Coward, the mid-range J. Take extra pass.
Too much.
Well, you know, they like to share the ball maybe a little too much as Dinker can't get the bounce.
That was actually a pretty good possession. I think Steve Smiley just said to his coaching staff, put it up, put it up.
Price maneuvering back out to Calmese. Haven't really called his name a whole lot tonight so far.
I think because of the balance, you know.
Totally.
So the balance, the ball's moving well.
And again, you got guys
like
on Washington State. Watts down low again.
Like this guy.
Well around the ball on the screen, trying to get it back to the big man. There's Calmese again. Numbers for Washington State. The lob to Watts, and the finish is at the rim.
6 turnovers by the Cougs in the first 10.5 minutes. They're giving opportunities to Idaho, and they're also giving up some O boards. Possessions matter.
Okafor in a matchup there with Julius Mims, a all-defensive team member out of the Big Sky last year. This time he goes in and touches it up.
Yeah, and I think in that Portland State game, they had to shoot threes just to get back into it. They're down 21-4. They got some really nice steals and hit some tough threes to get back into that game. But especially with ND Okafor, he changes your offense. You can go big.
Oh, that's big.
And Pribble really encouraging that play. You got to encourage what you want to see out of your team, and that was a good read by the defense.
Academy of Science and Jaquan Johnson, the young guy from Pius 11, all from Milwaukee. 1-2-2 3/4 court from the Braves.
Lisa pull it out.
And a few times they bounce the ball usually moves for Washington State. Not a lot of dribbling.
You could hear in the background David Riley, I think, expressing that same thing. And there's Coward. So this trip will take the game under 2 minutes. Again, where the Cougs might have been thinking maybe we can get this to 10 plus at half.
Yeah, well,
Bradley stayed close.
As you well know, Ted, coaches are always saying how you finish those last 2-3 minutes going in the locker room. Washington State wanted to open it up. Bradley wanted to tighten it up.
He's nice, not kicking out to the perimeter, but in the paint. I just said, how did you find this? I mean, this is not a game we normally see. And he goes, nobody will play us in the Midwest or South, which we much preferred for Brad.
With good reason. 46 out of the 49 votes. Close to unanimous preseason. #1 team in the Missouri Valley.
Rook knocks down a 3, and that would be for Bradley Clearman.
For sure.
Shots together.
If they can start getting some defensive rebounds. can't give Washington State is a very good offensive team, and they're giving them multiple opportunities.
Howard, again, clean look.
In the Big Sky Conference at Eastern Washington with these players. David Riley, two-time Coach of the Year, back-to-back regular season champions in the Big Sky Conference.
Nice play by Calmese to set up inside. The end one finished by Milwaukee.
Whenever you have your hands on the ball, I mean, Portland State's coming after it. You gotta be strong with it.
Eric struck. Now fires from deep. Hand off to Abib. Slashing. Hanging too strong out the window. Price pushing the other way. Calmese baseline take. Nice feed to Watts.
How about the space?
Myers trying to get around a couple screens. Abib straightaway triple. Rebound. Corralled by Babers.
Its aggression on the defensive boards has been impressive.
Isaiah Watts. Workshop again playing with 4 fouls for Washington State. Eric Strip. Yeah, like you said. Myers with a crossover down low. But up ahead to Isaiah Watts. I was just about to say that. Smart there from Isaiah Watts, because for a second, if he got a clean handle there.
Sometimes you're thinking home run, right?
Yep.
All right.